This is News with the Disney Dude. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content, and please hit that thumbs up if you like the video. Here now is the news for March 4th of 2026, which is why I have my spring button-up shirt on with Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. So, happy spring. Even though it technically isn't spring yet, but it's March. The Country Bear Musical Jamboree has been closed for 2 days. It briefly reopened this morning, but then it closed again. So we really don't know what's going on here. I do know that Teddy Barra has not been working again. So we don't know if that's why this is we don't know if that's why the show has been closed, or if there's been another technical issue. I don't know, but we'll definitely keep our eyes open and let you know when we hear something. I'm gonna go to the Magic Kingdom on Sunday, so hopefully she'll be, hopefully the show will be up and running. But hopefully sooner rather than later, the show will reopen. Living with the Land has been barely decorated for the start of the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. I really hope that they put more decorations up. It's, I really like these. I really like the ride overlays that Living with the Land does throughout the year. Flower and Garden, Festival of the Arts, Festival of the Holidays, Food and Wine. So hopefully it'll get there'll be more decorations as the festival goes on, but we'll just have to wait and see. Which I really hope that this hasn't been budget cut, because this is one of the last remaining vestiges of the Walt Disney World that I grew up with, where they, they just did ride overlays just because it was a fun thing for them to do. So again, hopefully sometime down the road, more decorations will be added, but we'll just have to wait and see. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, a new Big Thunder Mountain Railroad permit hints at a late spring 2026 reopening. We don't really know exactly. I mean, they never really announced an official opening date. They just said spring of 2026. So, maybe they still have some more work to do, more testing. I don't, that's for us. That's for them to know and us to guess. So it's when we know something, you'll know something. But right now, maybe late March, early spring, early April, or mid-April to late April. I just have to let you know. A surprise Cruella de Vil meet and greet happened at Epcot. It happened, I believe it was today or yesterday. Of course, it always happens when I'm not there. But, I mean, she was in the UK in the UK pavilion, or that area. You know, so I really hope that you got to meet Cruella DeVille. Again, it always happens when I'm not there, of course, so hopefully, this'll, hopefully she'll come back, but I don't, that's for Disney. That's for Disney to decide. Pre-COVID, they used to do like surprise meet and greets for rare characters. I know before the parks shut down due to COVID, they did a surprise Lady Tremaine and Drizella and Anastasia meet and greet, which I'm still kicking myself for not doing that. But hopefully, because you know why they're doing this, for the Villains Land. So hopefully when that Villains Land finally opens at the Magic Kingdom, we can go meet all of our favorite Disney villains. But any more surprise meet and greets, we'll just have to let you know. Gertie the dinosaur's tail receives Scrim Band-Aid as Echo Lake water level is lowered. So this is great. I mean, they're addressing this, which is what they should be doing. Because we reported on it and we were all making a big deal about this, but I am glad that they're tending to the situation, because we love our Gertie. We love our beloved Gertie at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So hopefully her tail will be fixed soon. But we'll just have to say it with me, kids. We'll have to wait and see. Somebody asked me the other day how it even broke. I don't know, because I'm not an engineer. I don't build things. My guess would be because it got so cold, that the water got so cold that Gertie just, her tail cracked and then it just fell off. I don't know if that's what happened. I don't really know. If I had to guess, that would be my assumption. But again, I'm not an engineer. I don't build things, so I don't, who really knows at this point? Who really knows? But I am glad that she is getting fixed. I am glad that she's getting fixed. Extended evening hours for select Disney hotels are scheduled for Disney's Animal Kingdom and Disney's Hollywood Studios in May of 2026. Make sure that you keep that you check the My Disney Experience app for more details. But May is technically the unofficial start of summer, so it would make sense that the extended evening hours would start kicking in at that time. But again, just for the latest updates, just make sure that you keep checking your My Disney Experience mobile app. Orange Bird and Spike the Bee trash cans are now at Epcot for the International Flower and Garden Festival. They do this every year for the festival, which is great. It's always great to, see these trash cans. I'm going to try to go to Epcot. I was going to try to go tomorrow, but it's supposed to be kind of rainy. So I don't know if I want to go or not. I'm just going to have to wait and see. Because I was just going to walk around for a little bit, and enjoy the festival, but it's supposed to be kind of rainy. So I don't know if I'll go or not. If I don't go tomorrow, then I'll probably go on Sunday. But it is nice to see that these trash cans get, this, for some reason, this is the only festival that they do. They do these trash can wraps, if you will, which I wish they would do it for all the festivals. But as my beloved grandmother used to say, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which gets filled first. So, but fiery makeover begins on Rock and Roller Coaster Upside Down Car at Disney's Hollywood Studios. They have begun painting it. It is now a completely different, in a completely different color scheme. It's kind of like in a pinkish color, which I don't know if I'm really crazy about. I thought it was going to be more of a kind of a more, you think of fiery, you think of red and flames and stuff. So I mean, it looks more pink to me. So hopefully this is not over, and they'll, keep painting it. We'll just have to wait and see. But, if it is this pink color, it's like, okay. All right. Here's something to keep in mind. The Magic Kingdom is closing early in May for a private buyout event. The Dave Matthews Band is going to be performing in front of Cinderella Castle for this event. What's the date? I don't know. I haven't looked that far in advance yet. But when I know the date, I'll make sure to report on that. If you already know the date, just keep that in mind that, Magic Kingdom will be closing early for this event. I'm going to assume 4:30. That's usually what time they usually close for a private buyout event. Floridian Way construction near the Magic Kingdom has been delayed by 15 months. This is the road behind the Magic Kingdom. If you take the buses, take they take Floridian Way. They take that back entrance. There's also apartments back there. There's really a lot back there that I didn't even know was back there until I started exploring. But Floridian Way was supposed to be just used it's supposed to now just be used for buses and other cast members. They've delayed that now. So I don't really know if the plans have changed for this thing or if they've, or if something happened or if something's changed. I'm just going to have to keep our eyes open for this, but 15 months is a long time for this to be delayed. So we're, just going to have to keep our eyes open and watch this story. But man, that's crazy. Something must have happened. Something must have happened for it to be delayed for that long. Encanto ride set installation is coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom imminently. They are, they're moving pretty fast on this, Tropical Americas. The Encanto ride they're, building from scratch. This is not, like a reskin of a ride like Indiana Jones is. Indiana Jones is replacing Dinosaur, which is, a retheming or a reskinning, if you will, of an existing ride. The Encanto ride is a completely new structure. They've completely, they've built it up from scratch. But they've recently topped it off. So we know what the highest point is. Probably sooner rather than later, they're going to be adding walls and such, and then they're going to be working inside, putting the ride together. But this isn't going to open until next year, 2027. So, but they're moving pretty quick. They're moving pretty quick on this. And I would assume it's the same for Indiana Jones. Obviously, we just can't see what's happening inside that show building, because it's inside. So it's easier to see what's going on outside because they're building this building from scratch. World Discovery Liquid Layer Splash Pad at Epcot is currently closed. We don't really know why. I'm gonna assume it is for maintenance. They're probably getting this ready for the hot summer months. So they want to make sure that this is working and ready to go for the very hot summer months. That's coming. that's coming. But just keep that in mind that this splash pad is currently closed right now. Damaged Connections Eatery sign and dirty decorations in the land at Epcot. This is kind of ridiculous. This is kind of silly. Is it too much to keep things looking, pristine? I can't tell you how many times I've got in front of this camera or anybody else and said, every day is someone's first day. Okay. This is Florida. The theme parks, we are probably the #1 tourist destination in the world for theme parks. So it's important to keep things, looking pristine and bringing things up to par. Because again, every day is someone's first day. Every day is someone's first day. So if they walk around the park and, they see things that are dirty, they're going to be like, well, that's gross, Or if they, walk around and rides are closed every day or shows are closed every day, it's going to have a negative impact. It's going to have a negative impact on guests. Now, look, I'm not saying that, rides are not going to go down, because they're going to go down. Okay, I get that. Country Bear Musical Country Bear Musical Jamboree, I understand. These things are going to close. These things are going to go down. Okay, but we're approaching the very busy tourist season. So I really hope sooner rather than later Disney fixes this stuff and it's in pristine working condition for the summer tourists. Because capacity is everything. Capacity is everything. All right. For the summer months, and and then of course fall breaks, and then winter breaks, and then Christmas, and so on and so forth. So again, I really hope that Disney Disney fixes this stuff and gets it working in pristine condition. Okay. And I've reported on some things, that need work. Country Bear Musical Jamboree. I'm sure they're working on that. Okay. I'm sure they're working on it. Okay. Gertie's Tale. Okay. I'm glad that they're finally fixing that thing. And that, with this, Dirty Connections eatery sign and, dirty decorations and everything. I really hope that they take this into account, that they look into this and just get this all cleaned up. So, and I understand it's not going to happen tomorrow. Okay. I'm not being unreasonable. I'm not asking you to fix this stuff tomorrow, but sometime down the road, it needs to be fixed. Okay. It needs to be fixed, because otherwise the tourists are just going to feel like they're cheated, like they're being cheated. Okay. And I always bring up the quote from Walt Disney that, if you cheat the guests, you're never going to see them again. So, words for the Walt Disney World Resort to live by, in my opinion. Okay. So again, hopefully sooner rather than later, this stuff will be fixed. Again, I'm not being unreasonable. I don't expect you to fix all of this tomorrow. Okay. Now, obviously it's easier to fix a show than it is to do like maintenance on Dinosaur Gertie's tail, or the damaged signs and such. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But again, hopefully sooner rather than later, all this will be fixed. I can tell you for one thing, though, if it hasn't been fixed on Monday when I come back for the Monday show, if this stuff hasn't been fixed, you'll hear it from me. You will definitely hear it from me. And our last story is Epcot introduces new Pin Tuesday procedures due to high demand. I'm not a pin trader. I don't really collect pins. Once in a while, I'll buy a pin like, oh, that looks nice. I'll buy that. But I'm not really a big pin person. I don't trade pins. But if you do trade pins, just keep that in mind. Keep in mind that Epcot's rules have been changed for Epcot Pin Tuesday. All right. But there you are. There's your news for this week. Again, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to this channel for more content. I thank you guys very much for watching this video. Y'all have a great rest of your day or your evening. Y'all keep each other safe and healthy. I will see you right back here on Monday. And we will see you real soon.